Hey, what's up? It's Jim, and today I'm going to talk about Thunderbolts. So this is the 36th film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It is also another kind of superhero team movie. I've seen, the other 35 Marvel Cinematic Universe movies. I'm fairly certain to review them. This is definitely a different way to do a superhero team. I just don't know if I was ready for it or how I felt about the Marvel Cinematic Universe, or it honestly wasn't all that good since I've seen a superhero team under similar circumstances happen, either be the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy, do similar moves as this. And if we're being real, this wasn't really nearly as good, even if it is talking about more serious issues like trauma and all of that. I just didn't feel I think it's fine, but it did feel like maybe a little too late for something like this. Thunderbolts is about a kind of a team that's put together by happenstance because they're all supposed to go and kill each other. Florence Pugh, who's Black Widow 2, Black Widow Jr., I'm not sure. Other not Black Widow, is sort of running the main focus of the movie, at least, or running the team. Her sort of dad, Red Guardian, teams up with her, as well as Winter Soldier, U.S. Agent, Ghost. They all get together and are going to, figure out what Val, played by Julie Louis-Dreyfus, is up to, and what her evil plans and how she was trying to erase all this stuff so she wouldn't get impeached, but then unlocked this character of Sentry, which this new form superhero team of Thunderbolts has to go and stop. A lot of this film is about, and pretty obviously the beginning, is about trauma. That's been a big buzzword for movies, ever since before Jamie Lee Curtis did her press tours, where she talked about it a ton. It is always a big drama thing, and put that on your character. We'll talk about it, and it's more therapy speak and all that stuff. And I do think that was an element particularly in the Guardians of the Galaxy. I think there's certain beats in all three, Avengers movies, Guardians and this, where there's always someone's oh, those misfits won't work together. That's a terrible idea. Those five, that'll never work. And then, they do the thing and stuff. And I sort of like how they're dealing with trauma and being a superhero, and especially superheroes who haven't, or a few of these are villains and stuff. Since a lot of these people have not been given the full spotlight before, it sort of makes sense that they'd be existential and what have you. I did like elements of that, but it just felt like it's just watching someone overdo an ingredient that most chefs just do a little bit of. And I think it worked here. It sort of works in what they're doing, but I like what they're doing with the kind of the idea of going into the trauma and talking about that with these characters, and it's sort of an interesting idea, as particularly when it comes to Sentry and all that stuff. But I don't think, this film probably, although it is shot a lot better than most of these, and particularly the action, I thought the action played more like a typical action movie of our era versus last Captain America movie, where it felt like there's so much cutting. This feels more natural. Even though there's I don't know if she used a stunt double or not, but when Florence Pugh breaks into that building in Malaysia, she has a hallway fight, you only see her silhouette, and maybe that's not her, I don't know, but it looked really cool, and it looked like a full action sequence, which you don't really see a lot of in the way they were doing that here, and I like that. But it's just I'm not against people talking about therapy or talking about their trauma or anything, but this movie just felt like you're trying to justify sort of using the same way Marvel shoots things and scripts things, but we're going to rise up this element where it felt like there probably needed to be more to differentiate this. Frankly, it feels like you'd kind of rank this low on the superhero MCU teams, and I just didn't really feel like it popped enough, even though it's it's a very entertaining movie, it's very well directed, it has a great cast. I just am would I watch this again? It just didn't really excite me, whatever. I was kind of okay, yeah, I don't know, and there's even parts where you think something really bad's gonna happen, you start to feel it, but then you're I don't know, it's a Marvel movie and everything will be fine. And in the end, it was, I don't know, kind of plays it's maybe a more smarter, more emotionally developed movie, but I just didn't really feel that way about it. It just felt like you have a lot of great you have a great cast, you have direction, all that stuff. It like totally works out. It just felt like this is what this is what a superhero team is in 2025 in the post Endgame world and all that stuff. And it just didn't feel like they believed it. I guess, I don't know. It just didn't really hit with me, and I don't know. Part of me is like, maybe it is the direction, but maybe it's me. Maybe it's all of us. It's like you can't just have a normal kind of MCU movie at this point. Like what are we doing with this? And like I said, like Brave New World is at the same time as Dr. No is to Moonraker, which is like a huge difference in terms of quality and culturally and all this stuff. This sort of plays like, I guess if I'm doing Bond movies for your eyes only, where it's like, well, let's go like, more, let's tone it down, more realistic kind of thing. And it sort of feels like this, where it's like a late entry into the franchise. I'm like, hey, we did a pretty good one. We're not so bad, am I right? And you're like, oh, cool. Yeah, that was, it's not like the old ones, but like, that's fine. And this felt like any opportunity it had to maybe not be as great. You had, a great performer, you had direction that was really good, all these different things that could get the movie to work. It's almost like there are too many backup plans where like it almost like had to succeed because there's so many people in it. But I just don't, it's just a solid, reliable sort of blockbuster, which is like, good for the Thunderbolts, but doesn't feel surprising or new or different or like, oh yeah, this is the one that's better. I mean, maybe, yeah, I imagine this would be on the list of the better ones post Endgame. I lost on like, I think we're in phase 6, but to me it's like all been one giant phase type thing. And I mean, I do think that this will be one of the better ones, but I just had no real connection to it. It felt like just like, okay, cool, this is what blockbusters are, and you did it, and now, I don't know, just seeing it that way, it just felt like, oh, another, reliable one. The studio got their big movie. Everyone was happy kind of thing, but it just didn't really like pop out to me at all. Just kind of like, okay, you made a hot dog and it was decent, but like, I don't think they like knew to do anything more or even attempt to, which I think kind of hurts it, because I'm like, well, why don't I just watch the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy? I mean, those are like reliable. The Guardians of the Galaxy is literally about showing that they're not losers because of like, their past experiences and the lives they're in. So to me, it's like, okay, I've seen you guys do this before, and I get it. It's not what it's about, but how it is about it, as Ebert always said. But I do think the problem with this film is how it is about it isn't interesting enough. Like, I wish it had been shot differently. I wish they'd been more creative with that. I wish when it got weird, they let it really get weird. All my typical kind of MCU complaints, but I really wish they had really embraced more of their own voice in this, because they really don't. They just kind of like let it be an MCU blockbuster, and I feel like there's probably more you could have done with this. I don't really think you could have had more fun with it. A lot of the characters in their original comics form are like Thunderbolts is kind of a different thing. It's like bad guys pretending to be superheroes and all this. So you could have played more with that. But instead it's like, oh, we got the team and they're the Thunderbolts and we're going to do jokes and do punches and stuff. It felt like almost like too typical of superhero movies and the MCU and everything. Like it just didn't feel like, why as an audience member would this speak out to you other than the fact that it's new? And I don't know if there's really a good reasoning behind this movie. It's just like another team up. Yay. I don't know. I had a decent enough time at it. It just felt like sort of like, okay. It just felt sort of a very okay experience, like the purgatory of movies. And most of the people, I will say, like David Harbour's a lot of fun. Florence Pugh is really good in this. Sebastian Stan definitely feels like it is his 9th Marvel movie, and Julia Louis-Dreyfus is wonderful as Val, so effortless in that performance. I noticed it wasn't as funny maybe as something like Veep, but it was fun seeing her be in this. I just am like, I don't like how it was about what it was doing, but I also felt like the whole story has been done so many times. I was a little like, I wish they had gotten a different attempt or approach or something like that, but to just do another MCU kind of movie, but it's a team, but it's not the team you're thinking of, but it is the team you're thinking of, but it's different, but we're going to be out trauma just like we always do. I just wish there was something more with this. I wish they'd really gone a little further and messed around, because instead we get this sort of thing where it just feels like typical. And I think probably one of the things that holds back superhero movies the most is like it became too typical, it became too routine, it became too like part of the thing. And although this is a solid entry, I quite like it. It's probably better than the last two MCU newer movies, at least that I saw. Yeah, I guess it is. I don't know. It's like I kind of want to praise this film because it's better than all these, and consider this, and you consider the MCU and where it is and stuff. It's fine, but it's just like I really didn't connect to it. I really don't have really strong emotions about it. It was just kind of like, okay, yeah, this is a superhero movie. Oh, they upped the trauma thing this time. Okay, all right. What are we doing here? And I don't think it ever really understands what it's doing with any of it. It's just like, let's have superheroes team up and do this thing and set up this other thing and all this. They weren't thinking about like how to make it as a movie other than the MCU, and I think that's like, particularly in this where I'm watching my third superhero movie and you're hitting the same beats and stuff, like it feels like you could go a little crazy with that and like have the camera do crazier stuff or like be more handheld or mess around with stuff, but it just doesn't feel like they're even interested. So maybe I should just let them accept their sort of mediocrity or doing the same thing they always do with this movie, because it worked this time, and I guess, if it worked, what's the problem? But I do think we should be asking these directors and people who are being creative on these things for more than that, and this sort of doesn't really answer the call. It's just like, oh, isn't it neat that they fought somebody and it didn't destroy absolutely everything, it just destroyed some things. I guess that's good. It's just a fine little cog in the MCU machine. Maybe it's better at clicking those cogs into place. That doesn't mean I don't have a reason to be not surprised at this point. So if you've seen Thunderbolts and you would like to talk about it, then comment below in the comments and subscribe if you would like to.